Global crisis. Russia strengthens its alliance with Cuba and challenges the US blockade. A magnificent masterstroke by Vladimir Putin generates a strategic shift in the world. Cuba, in the midst of a severe economic crisis marked by shortages of essential goods and basic products, has found a strategic ally in Russia. This rapprochement represents a significant change in the island's trade policy, providing immediate relief to the population and consolidating new international alliances that challenge the restrictions imposed by the US economic blockade. In addition, Cuba's recent incorporation into the BRICS bloc underlines its pursuit of economic autonomy and greater influence on the global stage. The arrival of Russian exports to Cuba has been a turning point for the island's economy. Products such as dairy, meat, and other essential goods, which for years were inaccessible due to the US embargo, now fill the shelves of Cuban markets. This constant flow of goods not only meets immediate needs, but also symbolizes an act of resistance against an international economic system that has marginalized Cuba for decades. A key factor that facilitated this relationship was the approval of the Russian sanitary control system by the Cuban National Center for Animal Health. This breakthrough allowed Russian companies registered on export platforms such as Bets and Server to send essential products without facing additional barriers. What previously seemed like an insurmountable obstacle became an open door to guarantee the food supply in a nation where resource limitations are a constant. Russian President Vladimir Putin has played a crucial role in strengthening ties between the two countries. The collaboration is not limited to the trade of essential goods. It also encompasses investments in infrastructure, energy, and technology, sectors that are vital for Cuba's sustainable development. This strategic alliance not only seeks to alleviate the immediate needs of the Cuban population, but also to offer the island an alternative path towards economic and political stability. Putin has also taken this opportunity to challenge the economic dominance of the United States in the region, positioning Russia as a key partner for countries seeking independence from Western policies. In doing so, Russia strengthens its influence in Latin America, a region that has historically been a ground of competition between great powers. Cuba joined BRICS, creating a new era of international cooperation. Cuba's entry into the BRICS bloc, composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, marks another milestone in its quest for economic diversification and strengthening of international alliances. This bloc offers Cuba access to new markets, financing, and investments that could transform its infrastructure and reduce its dependence on the US dollar. By participating in BRICS, Cuba also gains a platform to negotiate under more favorable conditions and face the restrictions imposed by Western policies. One of the most tangible benefits of this new alliance is access to essential products such as food and medicine, which have been scarce on the island. The possibility of importing goods without the usual restrictions translates into a substantial improvement in the quality of life for Cubans, who for years have suffered the consequences of an economic blockade that limits the country's development. Economic autonomy and international resistance. The alliance with Russia and participation in BRICS also represent an effort by Cuba to forge a path towards economic autonomy. By diversifying its sources of income and strengthening its relations with countries that share an alternative vision to Western economic dominance, Cuba is building a support network that could serve as a model for other Latin American nations. This strategic approach is also a response to the protests of 2021, when thousands of Cubans took to the streets to express their frustration with the economic crisis. Since then, the Cuban government has redoubled its efforts to ensure a steady flow of essential goods, and the relationship with Russia has been fundamental in this process. Implications for Latin America. The collaboration between Cuba and Russia also has broader implications for the region. In an increasingly interconnected world, this alliance demonstrates that international solidarity can be a powerful resource to overcome external restrictions and promote sustainable development. Furthermore, it offers an example of how small and vulnerable countries can resist pressure from great powers by establishing relationships based on mutual respect and cooperation. In this context, the integration of Latin America into a more equitable global system becomes a real possibility. The Cuba-Russia alliance and the island's participation in BRICS could inspire other countries in the region to seek alternatives that allow them to reduce their dependence on Western policies and strengthen their economic sovereignty. The strengthening of the relationship between Cuba and Russia, along with the entry of the island into BRICS, marks the beginning of a new stage in its quest for economic autonomy and resilience in the face of adversity. These advances not only offer immediate solutions to the problems of scarcity and development, but also send a clear message. It is possible to build an alternative system of international cooperation that challenges the norms of the established global trade. As Cuba strengthens its ties with Russia and other BRICS countries, it is paving the way for a more united, autonomous, and resilient region in the face of external pressures. This model of collaboration could transform not only the lives of Cubans, but also the future of Latin America on the global stage. In recent years, Vladimir Putin has played a pivotal role in strengthening the strategic alliance between Russia and Cuba. This partnership has not only bolstered economic ties, but also enhanced political and military cooperation. Putin's vision for a multipolar world aligns with Cuba's aspirations for greater autonomy and resistance against international pressures. As both nations navigate the complexities of global geopolitics, their alliance stands as a testament to their shared resilience and strategic foresight. This chapter will delve into the intricate political relationship between Cuba and Russia, exploring historical ties, current alliances, and future prospects. The story begins with the Cold War era, where Cuba and the Soviet Union formed a formidable partnership, both ideologically and militarily. Archival footage of Fidel Castro and Soviet leaders highlights the depth of this bond. Fast forward to the present, and we see how Vladimir Putin has revived and strengthened these ties. Expert interviews reveal the strategic importance of Cuba to Russia in the context of global geopolitics. The partnership has evolved to include economic aid, military support, and political backing, making Cuba a crucial ally for Russia in the Western Hemisphere. Looking ahead, the future prospects of this alliance seem promising. Analysts discuss potential areas of cooperation such as technology transfer, energy projects, and diplomatic initiatives. The chapter concludes with reflective and strategic tones, emphasizing the enduring significance of the Cuba-Russia relationship in a rapidly changing world. Together, these elements provide a comprehensive overview of the geopolitical dynamics at play, showing how historical bonds have transformed into a modern strategic alliance.